Thank you, YMCA. If that wasn't the most beautiful rendition of You Are My Sunshine and exactly a representation of why we are all here today on this glorious Oregon Day for 2019 Child Abuse Awareness Prevention Kickoff. My name is Paige Clarkson, and I have the privilege of serving as the Marion County District Attorney right here in Salem. Thank you for being here, and again, thank you first to the YMCA. Let's give them another round of applause as they're exiting the steps of our Capitol. It's the best way to start a Friday. I can't think of a better way to do that. So along those lines, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people who are here to celebrate this Prevention Month with us, I want you to know that I am the oldest of 7 children. My mother, Liz, was a very busy woman. She was also very wise, and she had many pearls of advice for us as we were growing up. And whenever one of us would complain, which was a lot, because in case you didn't catch it, there were 7 of us, so someone was always complaining, she would commonly respond, "You can do things you think you can't." I heard this many times growing up. You can do things you think you can't. I heard it a lot. So as I thought about what I was going to share here this morning very briefly with you, knowing that our goal is child abuse prevention, it was tempting to have a fleeting thought of this sounds too difficult. This sounds too hard. But then I quickly heard Liz's voice in my head, like I do so many times, saying, "You can do things you think you can't." And as usual, Mom is right. Keep that in your head over there, Leslie Middle School. Moms are always right. Preventing child abuse is something we can do as a community, even if sometimes it feels too big and we think we can't. We might think we just can't prevent child abuse as we look at the ribbons on that tree around to your right. They were placed there by Salem Electric. It's an amazing job, by the way. And they represent 11,077 confirmed victims of child abuse. So we might think we can't do hard things when we look at that tree, but we can. We might think we just can't prevent child abuse when we hear that Marion County alone had 1,047 confirmed victims of child abuse last year. We might think that seems too difficult to overcome, but we can do things we think we can't. We might think we just can't prevent child abuse when we understand that those tragic numbers only represent individual victims of abuse, not individual acts of abuse. When we talk about the number of acts, the numbers are much higher and much more tragic. And we might think we just can't overcome that. But we can do things we think we can't. We can do things we think we can't because we aren't doing this alone. Look around you. Our goal of preventing child abuse is absolutely attainable as we look to the strengths of our community and the many agencies, several of which are standing here today behind me and around me and next to me, who all stand together and do things that some people would say they think we can't. But we can. My mom said so. And I'm reminded of that every day as I watch my prosecutors in the Marion County District Attorney's Office, some of whom are standing amongst you today. I watch them tirelessly work on behalf of victimized children because they can prevent more victims, and they do every day. And my paper is wet. Stick with me. I'd like to now introduce some folks who really understand that we can prevent child abuse. First and foremost is Lillian Govis. She is the Director of Communications for the Salem-Keizer School District, and she is someone who absolutely understands that we can prevent child abuse. Welcome, Lillian.
Thank you. There are more than 42,000 children in Salem-Keizer Public Schools. We're the second largest school district in the state of Oregon, and we are the most diverse. When we look at our 42,000 kids, some of them are right here, we know that their needs are real. More than 1,100 of our children experience homelessness. 17% of our kids come to us as English language learners. 16% of our students receive special education services. So as you can see, many of our children are fighting the odds from the very start. Factor in that there were more than 10,000 reports of child abuse or neglect in Marion County last year, and it would be understandable to feel hopeless. But for these children, there are 7,000 helpers waiting for them every day when they come to their schools. These helpers are our teachers, assistants, custodians, bus drivers, coaches, principals, cafeteria workers. Some of these helpers are peers, like the amazing students from Leslie Middle who you'll meet shortly. Together, we've studied these traumas. For many of us, we've experienced it in our own lives. We commit to using the Stewards of Children training to reinforce the importance of understanding, and we're using that understanding of trauma to guide how we support our children. We're using that understanding of trauma so we can be the sense makers in these little ones' lives. We know that trauma presents itself in many ways: uncontrollable behaviors, emotional outbursts, violence, even chronic absenteeism. But in Salem-Keizer Public Schools, we commit to being a safe and welcoming space for all children. There is no question. The safety of our children is our greatest priority. And in Salem-Keizer Public Schools, our 7,000 helpers will take every possible step to protect our children from harm. Our 42,000 kids deserve it.
Thank you, Lillian. We absolutely can prevent child abuse, and I'd now like to introduce 4 of my very favorite people who are child abuse prevention warriors. They're going to come up and share with you just briefly their mission and what they do on behalf of children every day. Patrice Alton of Family Building Blocks, Sue Bloom of the Boys and Girls Club, Shani Starr of Casa of Marion County, and Allison Kelly of Liberty House. Please help me welcome them.
Oh, very exciting to see everybody turn out in this beautiful Oregon sunshine we're having today. I'm just overwhelmed by the support of our community as usual. My name's Patrice Alton, and I serve as the Executive Director of Family Building Blocks. Yeah, that's right. I'm here with my staff today. Many of them braved. I'm so happy you came out, you guys. That's so fantastic. And we really believe that we can raise awareness that child abuse and neglect can be prevented. We operate the Relief Nursery and the Healthy Families programs throughout Marion and Polk counties. And we also operate a Early Head Start program right up the street here at Helen's Place. All of these important investments in quality early childhood programs reduce the likelihood of child abuse and neglect. And of the 1,200 children we served in the last year, 99% were able to live safely at home with their families. No abuse, no neglect, no foster care. Doesn't get much better than that. So that's why we like to say, if you have $1 to spend it on prevention. I'm also proud to be the board chair of the Oregon Association of Relief Nurseries, and I'm joined here today by many of my colleagues from across the state. Hello, hello. Statewide relief nurseries serve about 3,000 children and about 2,600 families. We focus relentlessly on the prevention of intergenerational child abuse and neglect. We know that what may be second nature to many parents, such as taking loving care of a small baby, are skills that are learned. An adult who was neglected as a child may never have experienced what a positive parenting relationship looks like. And we believe that all parents want to be the best parents they can be for their children, and we are here to support keeping their children safe and their families together. And we thank you, our community, for making that possible.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Sue Bloom, CEO of the Boys and Girls Club serving Marion and Polk counties. So Boys and Girls Clubs save and change lives of the youth that we serve. The club's goal is to deliver programs that prepare our youth for great futures. This begins with the imperative to provide a safe environment that keeps kids happy, active, and engaged. Across the state of Oregon, Boys and Girls Clubs serve over 73,000 youth in 22 cities. We provide strength-based programs and a safe, nurturing environment for youth to learn and grow to their fullest potential. The club's work often gives parents the space to get their lives in order as well. We believe that every kid is our kid, and every kid deserves the opportunity to be ready to be a strong, contributing member of society when they graduate from high school. The club here locally is a Darkness to Light partner in prevention with the Stewards of Children program. This designation is just one of the extra steps we have taken to protect the youth we serve by training staff to understand the issue of child sexual abuse, identify unsafe situations and practices, and react responsibly in the best interest of youth. And this training is available to everyone in our community. And as a community, we must come together to tackle child abuse so that every child may reach their full potential. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Shani Starr, and I'm the Executive Director with Casa of Marion County. And our role in the world of child abuse prevention, sadly, is that we see the children after the abuse has occurred. We work to train community members to be a child's voice and walk alongside them as they're navigating the complex system of court and foster care with DHS. So that is what we do. And I can tell you that I'm here today and participating in child abuse prevention with our wonderful staff, that we have said and saw enough. And that is my challenge for all of you here, is to galvanize every one of us today on the steps of this state capitol to say enough. We have had enough child abuse. Now is the time. You are the ones who can help all of us walk alongside all of our organizations and tell everyone, tell the legislators in this Capitol who have before them legislation that can help us say enough. So I challenge you now, let those legislators who are in the chambers hear all of us here today say, we've had enough. We've had enough. We've had enough. Enough. We've had enough. Thank you.
How do you possibly top that? I'm Allison Kelly. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Liberty House, and we have board members and staff members today. Thank you so much for being here. The mission of Liberty House is to provide assessment and counseling and support for children and families facing concerns of abuse or neglect. And so our message really is for all of you. I want to thank our kids for being here. You guys are our future. And the reason all of these grown-ups are here is for you. What we want for your lives are for you to be safe and healthy and strong and successful and free from abuse or bullying. And you guys are partners in that. So hats off to you. Every single person here on in this planet, in this state, we have fundamental worth as a human being, and that's the message we get to share. And that's why, as an organization, we have our specially trained doctors who help, and medical providers who help diagnose if there are abusive things happening. We have amazing therapists who help children understand what they've been through and understand that it wasn't their fault. It's not something they did. It was a choice that somebody made, and their lives can be amazing even if they've been through really hard things. We have community engagement people who say, walk with us. Let's do this prevention together. And we have a prevention department, a whole new department this year. Special thanks to the Ford Family Foundation for investing in the Stewards of Children, Darkness to Light training, and that gives us the how. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to our legislators who stepped up to say we will serve this state. Thank you for our kids You are our future, and all of us are here for you today, so thank you.
Those of you that stand here today, if you've ever wondered, what can I do? How do I prevent child abuse? The answer is in these 4 organizations. And if you need something to do, if you've got free time, even if you don't, these are the organizations that can prevent child abuse. And I'm so grateful to work in a community with organizations like those headed by these 4 amazing women. And thank you and your organizations for thinking that we can and for partnering together to make it happen. At this time, I'm going to introduce the Soaking Wet Leslie Middle School students over here. They're going to lead us in the pledge, the Hands Are Not for Hurting pledge, first in Spanish and then in English. Take it away, Leslie. They're coming from this direction. Who's our Spanish head? You got one? Yeah. All right. Stand right here. Raise your right hand.
Por favor, levantar la mano derecha.
Speak loudly. I don't think they heard you.
Speak loud. Speak right in. Put that mic right
Bring it to your mouth.
Por favor, levantar la mano derecha. No usaré mis manos o mis palabras para lastimar a otros o a mí mismo.
And now in English. I will not use my hands or my words for hurting myself or others.
Great job. Thanks to Leslie Middle School for joining us here today and for leading us in that pledge. We are all now committed to preventing child abuse and not using our hands or our words for hurting. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. Thank you for standing with us in the rain. And thank you for believing that we can prevent child abuse, because we can do things we think we can't. We can, and we will. Please, as you exit, take a pinwheel and plant it in the pinwheel garden, and go out today and do absolutely everything that you can. Thank you.